Hey everyone, it's Valerie from Very Random Valerie, and it's Tuesday, August 5th, 2025. Hope y'all are doing good. I've been wanting to do this video for a while, so I'm going to try to do it quickly. I don't appear to have a lot of space left on my phone for videoing, so anyway, I'm going to do the best I can. Anyway, this weekend I did a meditation with Archangel Muriel, who is the archangel that I feel most closely related to because she is the archangel over empaths and sensitives. And I even did a video much earlier on Archangel Muriel and how I came to know about her, which is a very interesting story in itself. But whenever I work with her or do a meditation with her, I usually in my mind visually present her with some flowers because her name means perfume of God. And so anyway, so I started reflecting on flowers and how different flowers reminded me of different times in my life and different people and things like that. And I'm sure you have your own list of flowers and what they mean to you and different events in your life and different people. And if you like, I'd like to hear about it, so you can share that in the comments. When I was a baby, I used to be sat down in the grass, and I would pay attention a lot to the flowers around me, like clover and violets and dandelions and Star Jerusalems, and I don't know if I said Star of Jerusalem. And so those things really stand out. Whenever I see them, I automatically flash back to my infancy, when I was really, really little, toddler age. And then as I got a little older, other flowers came into mind, and that was like the camellias. When I went to First Presbyterian in Atlanta for preschool or kindergarten, might have been kindergarten. Anyway, they had huge camellia bushes, and so every time I see the camellia bushes, I reflect back to that time and going to that school. Another one was honeysuckle. I remembered learning how to taste the nectar from the honeysuckle when I was that age, very young, and I thought they smelled heavenly, and I still do. Another one was the dogwood blooms, because I used to climb trees all the time with the neighborhood children, and we had tons of dogwoods in our neighborhood. When I got a little older, and I was 16 when I started dating my husband, and he would bring me flowers on occasion, and usually roses. And so whenever I see roses, I reflect back on that time period. And peace roses are my favorite, just FYI. And azaleas. I thought of azaleas a lot when I was about that age, because the front of our house in the spring would just all the bushes, except the one on the end, which was a camellia bush, were azaleas, and they were just so beautiful, and usually that hot pink color. And when I got a little older, I tried growing flowers. I have a brown thumb, but I was successful with African violets, and I really loved those, and orchids. And occasionally I would go to a flower shop at Lenox Square in Atlanta and buy some flowers for myself, just for fun. And I became very fond of the scent and the look of a flower called freesia. When my oldest daughter got married, she had a bouquet of, lots of different flowers and berries and things like that. And one of the flowers I'd never heard of, but I have fallen in love with since then, is ranunculus. And if you don't know what they are, I would look it up, because they're just gorgeous. When I think about my wedding, I remember that I had tucked baby's breath in my hair. And so whenever I see baby's breath, that's what I think about. When I was newlywed, my husband would stop on the way home from work on Fridays, because he traveled in business, and he would pick wildflowers for me and Queen Anne's lace, because he knew I liked the Queen Anne's lace. And so when I see those, that's what I think about. And when my father passed away, my father was a very charismatic, very unique individual, and we had some family friends that bought him a flower called Bird of Paradise. And they said they wanted something that was very unique, like he was, and full of personality. And that's what they chose, the Bird of Paradise. When I think of my mother, I always think of gardenias. That was her absolute favorite flower. She also liked lilies, as well as my mother-in-law. She liked lilies, but she also loved, what was that called? Hibiscus. And my husband, for every Mother's Day, would buy his mother a hibiscus plant and plant it for her. And that was his little tradition. And I had a cousin visit me a couple of years ago, and she stayed out at our family lake house. And when she came, she brought me a bouquet of peonies. And so every time I see a peony, I think of her. Y'all have a blessed day. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.